People of the internet! Welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. I got a video pulled up here. It comes from NBC News, in which they entitled the video, AI News Videos Blur Line Between Real and Fake Reports. Folks, you know, AI and deep fakes and dead internet theory. You know, these are all topics that I speak on from time to time on this platform, of course. As just somebody who is in the middle and saying that maybe some of this stuff we need to maybe further analyze and assess the real dangers, the potential dangers of what this could mean if we openly welcome these things without any regulation. Let's watch this video, of course, get a little bit more insight. I'll share my thoughts. I encourage you guys to share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's get into it.
The so-called AI slop all over the internet these days.
Angela Carter here, live.
Is getting less sloppy.
Disaster. Just kidding. I'm not real.
With hyper-realistic AI-generated sham news clips circulating, often presented as a joke.
Dana Brooks reporting live from Ocean View.
But what's becoming not so funny, how easily reality can be confused with the fakes.
White House unveils plan to train bald eagles as patriotic aerial surveillance units.
Can you tell the difference?
Well, President Trump meets today with another global leader as his administration promises more trade deals.
The one on the left is AI-generated, while the right is real. The launch of Google's VO3 earlier this year, shocking users and the industry with how realistic the model is, plus how it can be paired with audio generation.
Reporting live from Clearwater Beach, where an unidentified...
And as the lines blur, the AI clips of fake reports or newsworthy events that never happened, even reaching the Oval Office. With President Trump posting this provocative AI-generated video of former President Obama being arrested at the White House. In many ways, it's an obvious example of misinformation or parody, easily debunked. But what happens when it's not so obvious?
We used to say that seeing is believing, and that's no longer the case.
It's making life hard for Emmanuel Saliba, a content verification expert and a
Seeing
former
is
NBC
no
News
longer
reporter.
believing.
She says the tech is getting so advanced, the fake videos are routinely being spread across the world and reported as fact.
During that gap between an event happening and authorities or media having any sort of confirmation, that's where we're seeing all of this AI-generated content start to spread. And before it's debunked, before it's verified, it's gaining millions of views.
The phenomenon, also known as synthetic media. We wanted to see how easy it was to create, so we gave Google's VO3 a try.
Well, the prompt says, generate a realistic TV news reporter stand-up. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda is standing in a snowbank with snowy trees behind her.
We fed the program a short prompt meant to recreate a real report I did back in 2023.
All right, so now we will generate.
On our first try, with about a minute of processing.
Oh, should we give it a listen?
This is an area used to winter weather, but as you can see in the drooping tree branches, this colossal storm dropped heavy snow.
The landscape is so good, and the quality is so good. Like, down to the detail of the hat, you can kind of see flurries.
It doesn't really look or sound like me, and the text at the bottom of the screen is gibberish, a telltale sign of AI. But watch how the AI reporter gestures, the hat, coat, even the NBC patch on the shoulder. And side by side with the real thing.
This is an area that used to winter weather, but as you can see in the drooping tree branches, this colossal storm dropped heavy snow.
It's getting scary, folks.
It's incredibly similar to the actual camera movement.
We tried altering the prompt to make it look more like me, but those attempts were blocked, with Google alerting it, quote, might violate our policies about generating prominent people. Google's video generator is so good, at least in part, because it's training its models on some videos posted to YouTube, the company recently told CNBC. It's that sheer realism of such an easy, free creation that highlights the bigger concern, when this tech is used not for fun, but to push an agenda or sow confusion.
Folks, it's getting scary out here. The internet is going to become a more scarier place if it isn't already. The capability of a lot of this stuff is dark. It's scary because, again, and they said it as well too, you could think it's all fun and games until it starts getting used for things that are not funny. Man, I look at it, and of course this is more so speaking towards news reporters. That kind of creeped me out. The lady, of course, that was using Google VEO3. Of course, that's that Google software that Google just launched not too long ago. I spoke on that, of course, on this platform before as well too, on how real and crisp this AI is really getting in terms of generating videos. But when it starts doing, of course, synthetic media, as they said as well too, and you're doing side by sides of AI and the real people, and you can't, of course, you see here it's labeled AI generated, and on the one on the right is not. The accuracy is a little bit scary. The detail is a little bit scary. And so somebody, even if you think you're the sharpest person now, like at first I would hear people say, oh man, little kids and senior citizens don't stand a chance. But I've been caught a couple of times as well too, and I consider myself fairly sharp when it comes to interacting on the internet. You see what I'm saying? Like I've seen these deepfake videos, the capabilities of the deepfake videos, and what they can really do. So now everything I question, like it's starting to get to the point now, which is sad because it's almost like how they say don't cry wolf. So it's gonna come a time where something really happened where we're gonna think it's AI and not give it any mind, pay it any attention. Again, you saw the lady was talking in that video as well too, in terms of, when something really breaks off in the world, these AI generators or whatever the case is, people with, malicious intent are sometimes getting to a story just as quickly and efficiently as the actual, media who's, that we already know and trust to report a true story from time to time. So imagine if these AIs are getting to a story faster than the real people are and putting out a fake narrative and maybe over-hyping something or underplaying something than what it really is. It's getting scary, folks. It's going to get scary to be dealing on the internet. I'm trying to tell you. And again, there's yet to be any substantial regulations against any of this stuff. This is a free-for-all. Google VEO3, the softwares are free. ChatGPT free. Of course, there's paid tiers, of course, and things of that nature. But for the most part, at least from an entry-level standpoint, a lot of people could get their hands on this type of technology. And it'll be naive of you to assume that everybody who does get their hands on this technology has the best intentions, is what I'm saying. We've already been seeing it, folks. Fake news, deep fakes, of official people, like presidents and news correspondents. Like, come on, bruh. It's going to be harder to maneuver on the internet. I've been saying it for some time. Like, it's going to come to a point. I saw another video some time ago as well, too, in terms of people saying, they're just gracefully bobbing out of social media because it just seems as if it's all for just advertisers and influencers or whatever the case is, and the regular people don't feel like they have any place on the internet as well too. And I kind of agreed. If I see that video, I'll share it as well. But it was just a conversation with two people just saying the direction of where they felt like social media was going, and it's just like it's kind of like weeding out all the regular people. Whereas to the point now it's like if you're even just casually on social media, you may not feel inclined to post your meal or your little dinner, whatever the case is, when competitors around you are using all these hyper, realistic filters and photos and tip-top crisp editing and this, that, and the other. It's just like, where do you fit in from that aspect of social media? And then, of course, as the main point of this video is just like the deception on the internet as well, too, will make some people just not even want to be a part. Like, if I got to scroll my timeline and contemplate, damn, is this real? Is this fake? You might just end up not wanting to participate at all. And going outside and just being amongst real people that at least you can still all right, you are a real human. Like, I can touch you. I can confirm that I'm talking to a real person. Whereas on social media, you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know the intentions. You don't know what's real, what's fake. Things that seem credible or not credible. The things that are credible can be dismantled as being not credible. It's going to get scary without any type of regulation. What are we going to use to authenticate people and stories and, what are we going to use? There's going to have to be a deeper level of authentication is basically what I'm saying. So in order to be a participant on the internet, you might have to. And maybe that's slowly but surely what they're gearing towards. I won't get too conspiracy right now. But there's going to have to be a way of how we authenticate people online. In order to be rest assured that you were talking, it's going to get so scary. It's going to get so scary online that they're going to come up with something, mark my word, they're going to come up with something that we're going to have to authenticate ourselves. So you can be rest assured, they'll market it as a good thing. Hey, you want to be sure that the person, that you're talking to online on that dating app or that job, that employer that, because that's a fake thing. That's a new thing as well too. Fake jobs, fake recruiters reaching out to you to just try to steal your information. So when you're online, you're going to want to feel rest assured, man, I'm not dealing with any type of scams. So they're going to come up with something that's going to make you authenticate. And it's going to be a super invasion of your privacy. Whereas I'm talking maybe blood samples, socials, whatever the case is, have a real social credit score. Do your research. Social credit scores where you really got to be of the internet to prove who you are, what are the cases, or your value, what are the cases. So I'm telling you, all this is just setting us up for the next play, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's going to get scarier and scarier, and people are going to demand, no, man, we need to protect the internet. We got to come up with more authentic ways to decipher from what's real and what's not. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a discourse. I'm telling you, something's going to happen where it's just in order to be on the internet, you want to be on there with reassurance, to be self-assured that you're dealing with real people. Then what do you think they're going to make you do to prove that you're a real person? It's going to come beyond the little test that we're taking, because even now the AI can do that. You know, authenticate, I'm not a robot, what are the cases, and you do the little puzzles, what are the cases. It's going to take more than that. They started off with that, but now the AI can solve that. Prove you're not a robot. What's this? How many photos? How many this is that is in the photo? Whatever the case is. They're going to need a stronger way to authenticate people on the internet if we continue at this rate. I'm trying to tell y'all something real. It's getting scary, bruh. It's getting scary. Deception. People are already being deceived, but they're going to have more easier ways to deceive people now. And again, people on the internet don't always have the best intentions, bruh. So it's getting scary out here. Be mindful. Cautionary tale when you're interacting with people online, when you're online. I always tell people, man, if you're going to be on the internet, be on the internet with intention. Like, it might come to a point where people are just not going to want to participate as much, or just be, you know, less as engaged on social media. Whereas it's just like, I wouldn't be on the internet if I didn't have to be on the internet. I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's just like, if this wasn't my means of communication and what I like to do as a hobby, as work, whatever the case is, then I probably wouldn't care to be. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna be on the internet, be on the internet with intention. Like, get in, get out. I'm so serious, bro, on everything. People are getting hacked, people's data breaches and this, that. It's like, there's so many things wrong with the internet. Don't be on there if you don't have to, bro. Like, get your information, keep it pushing. Do what you gotta do and keep it pushing. But to just be leisurely on the internet, nah, bro. You're just as vulnerable as just being somebody in the real world as well, too. Like, you're just as vulnerable to catastrophe on the internet as you are in the real world. That is a fact. That is a fact. So I wouldn't be, just like they say, man, don't be in the streets. Don't be on the internet like that if you don't have to be, bruh. It's scary out here. I'm trying to tell y'all something real. But those are my thoughts. Of course, I encourage you to share yours down in the comment section below. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. I will catch you guys on the next one.